What's up, America? It is game time.
Game time.
Russell Maven, Temple, Texas. My best friend, Jaye. Wait a second. That ain't Jaye Thompson.
Looks a little different.
It still is my best friend, but this time it's Mike Carlisle. I have multiple people that I call my best friend, but the important thing is, if I ever needed anything, if they ever needed anything, we know who to call. So it is all good. So we're a little bit of a pared down show this week because Jaye was busy and Mike was kind enough to fill in. So we're gonna let it fly here. We'll let it hang out, and we're just gonna do what we normally do, but we're just gonna do it in a little trimmed down way. Probably be a little bit of a shorter show this week.
Shorter show.
But, hey, we got we're still gonna have just as much fun. So it's all good. So first things first, to just tell you a little bit about our guest. Mike's been my best friend for 10 or 15 years.
Don't ask me.
Yeah.
Anything past yesterday's pretty cloudy.
When he says the other day, it could be 1984,
That's
it
right.
could be yesterday, it could be whatever. No,
Right.
But we've been playing fantasy football together for probably about 15 years or
Yeah.
so, and he's won a whole lot more than I have. So you're going to get some good information this week. And
Well, I didn't know how to turn on a computer when he first asked me to play fantasy, so I've come a long way too.
and now he's teaching kids how to turn on computers. You know,
Scary thought. Trusting the next generation to me.
Yeah, we're both in the education field, so we're shaping America one little live at a time out there.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go, man. We're just gonna jump right into it this week and get into the quarterbacks, like we talked about in the previous show. We're gonna try to go with a top 10 thing instead of going with like grabbing a few people a pick here or there. I did all my stuff before the Thursday night game, so you're going to hear a couple of Thursday night things in there, and we'll just determine whether I'm right or not. And we can just start right at the very top of the quarterback rankings with Kirk Cousins. I picked Kirk Cousins at Dallas because
it was Dallas.
Because it was Dallas. No
Yeah.
Sean Lee.
Right.
You know, the defenses
Secondary
look like,
been shaky.
they've been given up 30, 40 points a game. So what happens when I put Kirk Cousins at the
They
top?
shuffle the secondary and they pass rush.
I forgot that Washington has no healthy
line.
offensive linemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had one guy that hadn't been hurt all year, and it was Morgan Moses. He'd
he
been
got
hurt, but he'd been hurt, but he'd just been playing through it. And what happens?
He gets hurt.
He got hurt in the game. So literally, I mean, the Cowboy broadcast, they were talking about it, and they were like, "Who do you think's going to go in?" They were literally like, I mean, they were looking at their charts, going, "We don't know what's fixing to happen here." That didn't work out.
Well, how many did he score, Cousins? He didn't do so bad.
He didn't
did
do bad, but I picked him number 1. You would expect 30 or 40. So
Right.
based on where I ranked him, I swung and missed.
Yeah, I got you.
All right, number 2, I've got Tom Brady at Buffalo. I feel like this is kind of Brady time, and even if it's cold, even if the weather's bad, I don't really give a crap.
He always plays well in the cold anyway,
well,
snow, whatever.
Remember the snow game against Tennessee a few years ago, about 2009, and I think they scored 50 points in the first
Is that
half.
a Moss game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was one of the
I
last
remember.
real Moss games. I think he scored 3 touchdowns in the first
Yeah.
half, and somebody else like Welker or somebody scored 3 touchdowns in the first half
It's
or
one of
something
the
like that.
few quarterbacks you don't worry about what conditions are.
And I learned that last year with Aaron Rodgers because I would have won a championship if I played him in the snow. So, number 3, I took Carson Wentz at Seattle.
Love that play.
Well, Seattle has
They're
got
banged up.
they're banged up in the secondary, and you know you're starting to wonder who the corners are. You know who's out there. I know they got Earl Thomas back, and that's going to help. But to me, these next couple of games are going to determine, is Carson Wentz the MVP of the league? Or is he just going to have a good year? Because at this point, he's playing great, and now he's got 2 big road games on the
Doing
West
everything
Coast.
he wants.
Yeah,
It's
and
like practice.
well, and I love about him because he sprays it around, and it doesn't even matter who catches it. I mean, you could throw it to your $11 million guy, or you can throw it to your second, third, fourth round draft pick, whatever. He doesn't really care.
Well, I was listening to a show today on TV, a fantasy show, and the guy was saying that your great quarterbacks spread it around. So that's why it's hard to pick a receiver for the Patriots.
Right.
For the Eagles
It's always
or-
hard. Yeah.
Yeah, because you pick the straw that stirs the drink. That's the quarterback. So
if I'm going to match up a teammate like that, I like to go quarterback, running back. I love what you got going on in the LFC. He's got Breeze and Ingram. I'm like, that's what I'm talking about right there.
Right.
That's a beautiful thing right there.
Right.
Because Breeze will spray it, and man, Ingram's having a great year.
He is.
They, I saw a stat the other day that said that Ingram and Kamara are on pace to become the first running back duo to ever have 1,500 total yards from scrimmage. Both guys for the same team.
Wow. That's amazing.
That's pretty incredible.
That is amazing.
I think back to the first group, the first pair like that, and that for me that I saw, and that was Kevin Mack and Ernest Bonner. Do you remember those mid-'80 Cleveland days?
Browns?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
absolutely.
Yeah, they were awesome. Number 4, it's in that same game. I took Russell Wilson versus the Eagles. The Eagles have been good defensively, but Russell Wilson, his play might be ugly, but he just seems to get the job done.
Well, he's a one-man show.
He really is.
He's got no line. He's got no running game.
Yeah.
And he reminds me of Fran Tarkenton sometimes.
I love he's the one
way
of the,
he runs around in circles.
But then he sets back up.
Yeah.
I love the way he gets his feet back set. That's because the way that he and Tarkenton both did it, their back foot is still set. They're not running around so that they're having to fling it.
Right.
I love it. He's
one of those guys that's best under pressure when he's playing in chaos.
Sure.
He really is.
And another one that's kind of weatherproof to me. And the fifth, number 5, I'm taking Rivers versus Cleveland. Cleveland is better than you think defensively.
They're good against the run.
But Phillip Rivers has been hot lately, not just because he's playing Dallas' secondary either. He's played well.
Chargers are hot.
Yeah,
they really are.
The Chargers are coming on. Number 6, I'm taking your boy Breeze versus Carolina. That's a huge NFC South. Yeah, he really needs a win. He's got the best record in the league, the big jerk. All right. Yeah. So Breeze versus Carolina. That's a huge division game, and I don't know. Breeze strikes me as the guy that's going to step up when they need him the most, and I like him. Number 7, taking Newton in that same game at New Orleans. I saw a stat on him since 2011. He's second in the league in rushing touchdowns. And he didn't even play running back. I just think those kind of quarterbacks are so valuable.
Absolutely. Definitely the big red zone threat. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't change him. He's going to run. He's going to get those big plays, He's playing a lot better this year.
He's getting a weapon back this week too. I really think. I know Olsen played last week, but he went back out. But
still iffy with the foot.
Yeah, I think he's gonna come back and perform a little bit this week. Number 8, I'm taking your boy, Josh McCown. Versus Kansas City.
Good play. KC's not a top tier defense these days.
Man,
so
what in the world?
What happened to him? I don't know.
What in the world?
I don't know.
Every year there's a team like that. Last year it was Minnesota. They bust out of the gates. They're undefeated. They can't be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden they can't figure out how to win a game.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I think one of their biggest issues, especially offensively, earlier in the year they were feeding their young running back, which is what you do.
And then he cut back his carries to preserve him. Just give it to the dude.
They preserved the win. I mean, they preserved the losses. Is what they did.
Yeah, just give it to him.
I mean,
but defensively, they're not stopping anybody, especially playing in New York. I like McCown. I think.
Well, and you've got McCown in a league or two.
Yeah, I've got him with Breeze in the LFC, and then I've got him either here or Mariota in another league. And I think I'm definitely going with McCown. Well, a couple of weeks I played Mariota. I'm going with McCown in that one league because it's down to playoff time, getting a spot.
He's been a guy that you've been able to depend on, though, hasn't he?
He is. It's just one of those guys you didn't figure going in was going to be that great. So you just keep not believing, and then finally you have to.
Yeah, I think
he just keeps doing it.
Yeah, I think. Man, he's just one of those guys you pull for, though, because he's old and he's kind of bounced around a little bit. And you almost felt like they were starting him this year hoping that he would just fall on his face and they'd get a high draft pick.
Absolutely.
Not like they haven't spent enough draft picks on quarterbacks. Good gosh.
I know.
Number 9, I'm taking Matt Ryan versus Minnesota. That was really really thinking hard about that one because Ryan's really kind of picking it up. That offense is starting to click. But Minnesota is good on defense. I love Mike Zimmer. That was a guy that I wanted as a coach of the Cowboys when we moved on from Wade Phillips.
You got, who is it, Rhodes probably on Julio this week?
Probably.
Yeah, it can be tough. Yeah, Minnesota's got a tough defense. I'm really hoping that Matty Ice struggles this week.
Why?
Well, I'm going against
You're
Jaye.
going against Jaye.
We made the trade. I gave him Ryan and he gave me Breeze, so hoping Ryan falls on his face this week.
That's funny. So I have Jay on the show. It's our show. I bring in Mike, and Mike's like, "Man, I've got to beat Jay." Yeah. All right. Number 10. I'm taking another kind of flyer. I'm taking Case Keenum versus at Atlanta.
Another guy they're trying to not start. They're wanting Bridgewater to come in. You know, every time somebody tries to get cute like that, it never seems to work out. No, that's not going to work.
It's like we need the young guy. We need the rookie. We need this or that or the other. And then it's,
if he's playing, let him play.
I say, man, if you got something rolling, you remember way back 91, before the Cowboys won their first Super Bowl, the year before, Aikman got hurt, and they brought in Berline. And then but they won like 5 games in a row. And then Aikman got healthy again. And Jimmy Johnson didn't play him. He left Berline in there, let Berline start the playoff game, beat the Bears. Then they go to Detroit, and then he struggled at the beginning of that game. So then he brought in Aikman. But
you got to go with the hot hand.
He's like, look, I know Troy's the number 1 overall. He is our quarterback, but it's working. I mean, what are you going to do?
Like the Cowboys last year.
Yeah,
Prescott's working. You just leave him in.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about old Blaine Gabbert, man?
I've never been a believer.
He's playing all right.
He's playing good. But I've never been a believer. And if he plays well, good for him. You could knock me over with a feather. I had no expectations for him at all. All right, so looking at that list, what do you think? Is there anything that you were like, you put that guy too high, you put this one too low, whatever. Thank you, babe. You kind of overshot something, or do you think I'm forgetting somebody this week, or big omissions or anything like that?
I don't know, man. I threw in the dark horse there with Gabbert.
You like Gabbert this week?
I like Gabbert. I don't know. The list makes sense.
Okay.
I don't know. Something tells me that Carolina and New Orleans is not going to be a scoring fest.
It's going to be a slobber knocker?
Yeah. I'm nervous about both those guys, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And if I think like that, that probably means it'll be a high-scoring game and hit the over.
Jay does that all the time. He always picks a game that's like, all right, you need to start this guy and this guy. They're playing against each other. It's going to be a shootout.
Well, I've learned that George Costanza thought is the way I need to go. Whatever I think, I need to go the opposite, and it usually works.
So you meet George Steinbrenner and you go, I wish it was a pleasure to meet you, sir, but after what you've done to this organization,
you're hired.
Hire this man.
Yes.
All right, so we're going to move on to running backs. We'll talk about some of our key guys this week. Number 1 off the top, I took Le'Veon Bell at Cincinnati. You got any issue there?
No, I think that's never a bad play. They're going to have to run the ball because I don't think Roethlisberger usually does well on the road. Cincinnati's defense is not so bad. I think they're really going to have to run the ball if they're going to win. Run and throw to Le'Veon Bell is not bad.
To me, he's just kind of the surest bet in the running back group. I already know I'm picking high in one of my redraft leagues next year, and I'm just like, come on, take somebody besides Bill. Because I know that dude's just going to be... Oh, speaking of that, real quick, what do you think they're going to do with him at the end of this year? Because Pittsburgh's a little tight with the money, usually.
Yes, they are. Boy, I don't know.
Because if they franchise him... didn't they franchise him this year?
I believe they did.
I don't think he's going to go for that again. Because he's getting to the age where...
Well, if he doesn't go for it, what's he going to do about it? Not play?
I don't know.
I don't either.
He almost didn't play this year.
It's hard to give back a long-term contract. I don't know if they do or not. I
All
wouldn't
right,
want to be
let's say he moves to somewhere else. I don't care what area it is. Do you trust him as much?
Well, it would depend on the where.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the talent. What kind of system are they going to run? Who they have blocking for him? I'd have to know the who before I decided that. You know.
Well, how are you feeling about Roethlisberger coming back next year?
I'm feeling good about it.
Me either.
I think he's hanging it up.
I do too. I think once you start talking retirement, you've retired.
Yep.
You just haven't physically done it yet.
I agree.
So
I agree.
I think he's done. That's why I kind of avoided Bell and Brown and trying to pursue them in dynasty leagues and stuff like that. So I know they're playing great this year. I think Antonio Brown, he might be the best football player in the league, pound for pound.
It's not a bad thought.
So
yep.
We'll see. All right, number 2, I took Kamara versus Carolina. I know you said it might be a slobber knocker, but to me, if there's a play to be made, that guy seems to be the guy making it.
I agree.
Whether it's through
I think he's actually a better play than Ingram. I think they're both good plays, but yeah, I like Kamara versus Carolina.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? They go out and spend that money on Adrian Peterson, and what happens? They drafted the guy that was better than him anyways. You know, not that he's better than Adrian Peterson.
At least they had the sense to make the move that they did, not just hang on to him because they spent the money.
I think there was too much personality in that locker room,
especially from Peterson.
Yeah, Peterson and Sean Payton.
I think when he walked up to Payton on the sideline and told him what to run, I think that was pretty.
I think he was already traded. He just had to wait till the game was over.
I agree. Yep.
Number 3, I'm taking Todd Gurley at Arizona, just because Todd Gurley is daggum Todd Gurley. He seems to fit into that Rams system like a glove. I'm loving him right now.
His system's done well for him. I wish I would have thought of that in the redraft leagues, but I didn't. You know,
because he could have been had late in the first round.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Number 4, I took your boy, LaShawn McCoy versus New England. Been versatile, been consistent all year long. You've had him.
He scores regularly. I fear he struggles against New England. I fear that they always know who to take away, and since there's not much of a passing game there in Buffalo, I worry.
Well, we always talk about on this show that Bill Belichick, his way of playing defense is, all right, what do you like to do? Okay, you're not doing that today.
Exactly.
Whatever it is, I don't care who it is or what you got going, you're not doing that today.
And that's what I fear with McCoy.
Well, I got a number 4. Maybe I'll.
Well, I hope you're right.
Maybe I'll end up right on that one. Number 5. This is from last night. I took Samaje Perine versus Dallas because without Sean Lee, they're giving up 200 yards a game, Mike.
Yeah.
So what happens? He gets nothing.
Nothing. Exactly.
You would think I would do good with Dallas.
It was a good play. I mean, they had nobody behind him either.
Man,
even though he's not much of a
and then he went
catcher.
out with a concussion too.
Yeah, he's going to get fed. So I don't think that was such a bad pick against the opponent last night. Nobody expected the Cowboys to do what they did.
No. On either side of the ball.
No.
Really, all 3 phases. I mean, Ryan Switzer made a play. Goodness gracious.
Yes. Finally.
Jesus loves me, this I know.
We've been waiting for that all year, man. That's what they picked.
I know Madison right now is going, he's still not better than Lucky.
She loves Lucky.
All right, number 6 is your boy, Ingram versus Carolina. He's just been really hard to stop this year. And once they got rid of Adrian Peterson, they just seemed to say, here you go, man. Why don't you take this football right here and run with it?
He's been steady. I like him. And he's going to probably get the carries on the goal line, huh?
Yeah, I think so.
So, yeah, I don't think Ingram's a bad play.
Well, if you can reach over there and grab that crow and hand it to me, I got to eat a little bit of crow with this one. Number 7. Where's Jaye when you need him? I'm taking Christian McCaffrey at New Orleans. Now, I've talked all year long about how, the white running back was not going to get any rushing yards, and he hasn't. That's the truth. But he is getting a lot of receptions, and he is putting the ball in the end zone, and he's done a good job so far. I'll give him that. To me, I like his dad better still at this point, but that's okay. So I had to eat a little bit of crow on that one there. that one kind of stung a little bit. Plus, Jonathan Stewart's finally looking like he might be
done,
nearing the end.
Nearing the end.
Yeah, that's for sure. Number 8 is I took Jordan Howard versus San Francisco. They're at home. They tend to really just lean on him and play Bears, slobber knocker, black and blue football at home, and he's their guy. Tariq Cohen has been a help in the offense a little bit, but he's so sporadic. I mean, sometimes he'll go 3 or 4 games without doing anything.
I like Hyde in this game against the Bears.
Really?
I do.
They've been feeding him a little bit too,
and he's been catching the ball.
Yeah. Breida is a different kind of back. He's really a third down, typical third down back in that offense.
Yeah, so I like Hyde in this game.
Okay.
I put him up there pretty high.
He was somebody I was considering too. Number 9, I went ahead and took Tevin Coleman versus Minnesota. I know Minnesota's good, and I know that Coleman is getting Freeman back this week. I think that coaching staff likes Coleman better.
Well, I don't look for Freeman to be 100% back, but I do like him to maybe take enough away from Coleman. I'm looking for
goal line here.
I'm looking at Atlanta to be passing a whole lot.
Yeah.
I'm looking for.
Well, and if they do, I think Coleman's more likely to catch it.
Yeah, he's more liable to catch it.
Number 10, I tried to find a way to keep him out of the top 10 because he just isn't getting the job done. But based on volume and carries, talent. I put Leonard Fournette versus Indianapolis. Indianapolis is never going to play defense. It's never going to happen. So I said, you know what? I'll chuck the dice out there on Leonard Fournette. Yeah.
Are they playing in warm weather?
Jacksonville, Florida, baby.
Yeah.
They have pretty good weather there.
They have pretty good weather there in Florida. It'll be warm, that's for sure. What do you think about Latavius Murray this week?
Man, he's been hit or miss, but he's starting to pick it up.
Games,
man,
a bit of carries.
Yeah, he's starting to come around a little bit. They seem to at the beginning kind of like, well, let me see if you're going to be able to the guy to do it, or is it going to be McKinnon or whatever. But now they seem to have found a role. I feel like it's almost like the Saints. Once they kind of worked out the roles, now it's like, oh, okay, we're good. I like Murray a lot. That was somebody I considered for that last spot there where I put Fournette. And anybody else that popped off your brain there?
And rankings aside, how about? And I got to bring it up because I know you love this topic. I'm starting a New England back in 2 different leagues this week.
Well,
I got Deion Lewis in one as a flex guy, and I've got Burkhead in another one. They both have been doing all right.
Yeah.
What are you thinking?
Well, when I was researching and stuff, because we had talked earlier about Deion Lewis, and I was like, stay away from the New England guys. But man, everybody I saw had him ranked up in the top 15.
Yeah.
And so I think his multiple touches, like you were arguing earlier in the week, hey, look, he's getting kickoff return yards, he's catching the ball, he's running the ball. I don't see him as a touchdown guy.
No, not usually.
But he's a volume guy. Mm-hmm. He seems to be on the field.
He
seems
PPR,
to get,
especially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's getting a lot of snaps. That's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And in New England, that's all you can ask.
Absolutely.
Man, Burkhead has. He has really kind of Parcells written all over him. You know what I mean? But Belichick gets that from Parcells.
Yeah,
I think I don't know. They find these guys that don't really have the talent that other people have. They just get the job done, and I think that's what Burkhead is for them. And I think that's what he had in mind at the beginning when they originally signed him. So, that's what we're liking. That's what I'm liking there at running back. What do you think I messed up there?
Well, I don't think you messed up anything. I think we both overlooked Dallas's offense Dallas's running game getting going again.
Yeah. I did
play Morris in a game in one of my leagues.
Man, last night
only because I didn't have any running back. It wasn't like I made a hard choice.
Well, last night I had several guys going. I had because I play in 3 leagues, so I had Morris going, that worked out. I had Doxson going, the touchdown saved me. I had DeMarcus Lawrence going. That worked out. And I had David Irving going. And that worked out. I was like, everybody that I played, I was just like, yes.
What do you think about Drake for the Dolphins, right?
Kenyon Drake?
Is the other guy's not playing, right?
Damian Williams got hurt. Like, he got hurt
so
bad.
So he's going to be... What do you think about him?
I don't know. I didn't trust him enough to put him in my top 10. And I think he's one of those guys that I think he's just athletic. I don't know that he loves football and is, you know what I mean? Because to me, he went to Alabama as kind of a highly touted guy. Never really got the job done. Got the little kickoff return in the championship game and all that kind of stuff. But kind of underperformed there. And I don't know. To me, he's an athlete playing football, not a football player, you know?
Right.
So, I don't know. He'll probably go for 200 yards now that I said that. So, you might want to play Kenyon Drake this week.
Sneaky play.
We have something for that later on. We'll talk about that. All right, wide receiver rankings. To me, you live and die and open and close with AB. Antonio Brown, like I said, I just... The dude... Right when you think he's done about everything he's going to do, he catches one on the side of his helmet or something.
He's the surest thing there is, probably.
Holy, man.
Yeah.
He's just tremendous. He's tremendous.
I'm not saying he's not up there at the top, but I do knock him down a little bit on the road. And I don't know, Cincinnati's not bad defensively, are they?
No, they're not terrible.
I'm not saying you can shut him down. But if anything, I would say that would be the only thing to knock him down. But he's probably always the number one guy.
I mean, he just
every
is.
Week. He just really is.
Sucker is so good. Did you know that him and Jaye Watt were on the same college football team?
No.
Yeah, because he went to Central Michigan, and Jaye Watt started out there at tight end.
I didn't know that.
They took a team picture together. You know, when they were 18 years old, they were on the same. Can you imagine being at Central Michigan, having two basically Hall of Famers?
Isn't that something? Wow. Yeah.
Whatever they are, the Chippewas or whatever they are over there.
The only thing about Brown I was thinking is that when Roethlisberger's out, he never does as well.
Yeah.
So it seems like Ben's been able to stay in there this year. So
it is. It's kind of eerie.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you haven't seen Landry Jones at all this year, or whoever else they got backing him up this year. So, kind of weird. Number 2, I'm taking Keenan Allen versus Cleveland. Once again, Cleveland is pretty good defensively, not necessarily in the secondary.
Yeah. Better against the run than the pass.
But man, the Chargers are just moving the football.
Yeah, when Keenan Allen's healthy, he's a stud.
He is.
He really is. So I think I put him way up there.
Number 3 is the one that you were just talking about just a little bit ago. AJ Green versus Pittsburgh. He's at home. It's a big game.
Seems like he plays well against Pittsburgh.
He does.
He's
caught a couple of weird Hail Marys against them and stuff like that. So, I just think he's always going to get the looks. He's always going to get the targets. And he's kind of like Brown. He's just money, man. He just is. I love AJ Green. Period. And number 4 is the same thing. It doesn't really matter who they're playing or what they got going on. I got DeAndre Hopkins. Give me DeAndre Hopkins. Every day of the week, twice on Sundays. You know,
one year I said he's quarterback proof, and then he wasn't. The one year I had him.
Yeah.
He
He can do anything.
Yeah.
That whole year.
So now he's quarterback proof again.
Yeah. Well, I was watching sound effects this week, and this guy come up to him for the whatever coach for the other team, whatever, and he goes, "Hey man, I want to tell you, you're the best wide receiver in the game," and he goes, "I know." Like, you definitely play wide receiver, man.
Oh yeah,
you are definitely a wide receiver, big guy.
Who's Houston got this week?
They're taking on at Tennessee.
At Tennessee.
So Houston against Tennessee is always kind of salty. So we'll see what happens. Number 5, I took Mike Evans at Green Bay.
The second question I brought up.
Yeah.
Is Winston going to be able to throw it? Green Bay's not good. So Evans is the automatic thing, but is Winston going to be able to do it?
It's a target.
Well,
thing.
And if not, do they pull him? Does his shoulder get hurt again? Fitzpatrick's been all right.
Yeah.
So you think Evans is a pretty sure deal?
To me, he's kind of like what you're talking about, quarterback proof, because he is what they do. He's when they throw the football, they're going to make sure Mike Evans gets 10 targets. I mean, if they don't end up making enough targets to O.J. Howard or Braid or Deshaun Jackson or whoever it is, okay, that's fine. But we're going to throw the ball over there to that big 6'5" guy. So I think he's just one of those. I trust the player and not necessarily the situation.
Gotcha.
Okay. Number 6, I took Julio Jones versus Minnesota. Once again, the player, not the situation. Minnesota's good defensively. Their scheme is good. Their coaching's good. Their players are good. But I've been kind of sandbagging on Jones all year because I have him, and I know that he doesn't score touchdowns. And he's been...
Well, and he'll have those weeks where 3-4 weeks in a row, it's not much, like Antonio Brown's every week. And then he gets you that
300 yards,
300-yard game.
Yeah. He scored me 54 last week.
And he's up against a tough matchup, I believe, this week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't like the fact that they don't throw to him like you were saying that Tampa does to Evans.
He's been a little more judicious with the ball this year. It's a little, hey, here's a little Sanu for you.
And he does, Ryan, to his credit, he spreads it around. Brady spreads it around. Wentz spreads it around. Ryan's good like that. He spreads it around.
And to me, he's showing me something these last few weeks in terms of the level, the tier that he's in as a quarterback. Earlier in the year, I thought it really took him a little while to adjust to the offense.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, you got to really be a crappy coach to suck all the life out of that offense, man. I'm like, come on, Sarkisian, let's go, man. Number 7, I'm going to take your boy Adam Thielen at Atlanta. He's just been they're getting 13, 14 targets a week, man. This guy is just killing.
Doesn't Atlanta have some injuries too in the secondary, I believe?
Man, everybody's banged up this time of year.
But So,
Thielen's Case Keenum
gone from being that guy nobody knew about to one of your top guys in the league.
I think I bought him in the auction for 16 or 17 million, and people are like, "What'd you pay that for him for?" I'm like, I don't know. The year before, I spent $1 million on Cole Beasley, and they're like, "Why?" I mean, he must have scored 200 points last year.
Thielen did it with Bradford, doing it with Keenum.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's quarterback proof, Mike.
What about Diggs?
I don't know. I don't know what his thing is. He's been really, really good, overperforming all year, but I think lately it's been kind of the opposite. He's kind of been taking a back seat, really.
I think the quarterback's just got some kind of better connection with the other guy.
Yes, I do.
So too.
I do. I totally do. Number 8, I took Funchess at New Orleans. Just because.
Well, if you're picking Cam up there, you got to throw it.
There's going to be somebody. Somebody on the other end. He throws a lot to Christian McCaffrey, and he throws a lot to Funchess. And I'm not sure, how much Olsen's going to be involved this week. And I don't trust anybody else they got at receiver. And I think they're going to have to throw to keep up with the Saints this week. So that's why I took Funchess there.
Funchess has been a good play since that trade.
This one's funny. This is from Thursday night. I did this on Tuesday. So number 9, I took Jamison Crowder at Dallas, which Jamison Crowder has been on fire. He's played well. But that's some guy couldn't
play go right. Golly,
some guy can't hold on to the football,
right
man.
Through his hands.
Hit him in the hands. That's an interception. Dropped a punt. I mean, but he also.
As far as the targets went and everything else,
they were looking for him.
It was a good play.
Yeah.
Sometimes you make the good plays, it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somehow you ended up with three people in my top 10. Big jerk. I'm taking Alshon at Seattle.
That's another.
Once again, he does spray it around, but
Alshon's been getting.
He's starting to show up.
Absolutely,
he's starting to show up.
He's getting in the end zone too.
Yep, and that's kind of, man. If you get me a touchdown, I don't give a crap what else you do. Kind of like Josh Doxson last night. I think he caught two balls, but one of them was in the end zone. It's fine with me.
Exactly. Well, and once again, back to that Seattle banged up secondary. So somebody's going to catch something from Wentz.
Yeah. They got Michael Carlisle out there at cornerback. So.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. anything wide receiver wise jump out at you? I forget somebody or put somebody too high or too low there for your taste?
I noticed you didn't have any Chicago Bear wide receivers in there. I'm really curious about that, man.
Because they throw for about 90 yards a week.
Yeah.
And half of that goes to the tight ends and the backs.
Yeah.
I don't know what in the world they got to be thinking about trading up that one pick. You know, I don't know. They gave up way too much to move up that one pick. And then the guy that they got, it's not working.
Well, I got to bring up Robbie Anderson.
Ooh, yeah.
For the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he doesn't have the name.
Paul Richardson, too.
But if you go look at Anderson and his statistics and the connections he's got with McCown and going against the Chiefs, I know nobody I've seen has got him in the top 10, but I'm throwing him in there. I think he's...
Well, if we replace Crowder with him, then I'm looking better.
I think he gets off again, man.
All right, I like him. Richardson's been playing well for Seattle as well, and better than Baldwin.
And Richardson is more the outside guy than Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think in this game, I think that would probably make sense.
Those were guys that I considered there in that top 10, and so that's not shocking to me that you say those.
All right, and what do you think about old Josh coming back? Is he going to be able to play sober?
He would be a skin it, and we'll talk about what skin it is here in a minute.
I'm not talking top 10. I don't know, man. I'm just shooting from the hip. Can he play sober?
Well, to me,
I don't know. Will he be sober?
That part, it doesn't matter, because if he comes up hot again, he's done forever, I think. But to me...
Because he said he's never played a game sober.
Yeah.
Ever.
He'll probably get 30 yards a game. You know... I just don't believe in anything Cleveland does at the quarterback position. They've got how many first rounders have they drafted in the last 5 years?
It's terrible.
And Johnny Manziel flamed out so fast it was remarkable. Mm-hmm. And Brandon Weeden was off the team within a couple of years. And I was just like, man, you guys can't do anything right as a quarterback. And to me, it kind of, and this is showing my age a little bit. But to me, when Belichick was there in 91, 92, and he got rid of Bernie Kosar. Bernie Kosar is the only thing they ever had at quarterback, really, that worked since Otto Graham. Unless you want to count Brian Sipe and the Cardiac Kids, and all that kind of stuff. But man, yeah, I don't know. I think it's like the curse of Bernie, man. It's the curse of Bernie.
I'm by that.
Okay, all right, that's cool. All right, so let's look at the tight ends. To me, there's been 4 guys all year that have just been killing it, and I don't care what order you put them in, and I don't care which one you like the best, but all these guys to me have been money. Number 1 is Ertz at Seattle. Number 2 is Gronk versus Buffalo. Number 3 is Kelsey at the Jets, and number 4 is Jimmy Graham versus Philadelphia. To me, pick any one of those that you like, that you want, and put them in whatever order you want. But those guys right there, if you got one of those 4, you are living the dream at tight end.
Yeah, because there aren't a lot of high-scoring tight ends. I think, always Delaney Walker, he's always steady.
Oh, yeah.
Although I have seen him drop a lot of balls.
I know. Right after I traded for him.
Balls, too.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
All right, so those 4 right there are just I don't even know why we even talk about them, because those 4 right there, those are great plays. And they got your guy versus Gronk versus Buffalo, so he can run around on them guys. And Ertz at Seattle, that's just killing it. Number 5, I did this early once again. I took Vernon Davis at the Cowboys because their defense has just been awful, and I don't even know if that guy caught a football.
What's that thing he was wearing around his neck anyway?
I don't know.
Did you see that? It's kind of black thing around the back of his neck,
like a neck brace, like a neck ring, one of those rolls.
Yeah, but it was real thin, but it was black. Maybe it was one new,
like a headband or something.
Not quite. It looked like some kind of device. Maybe it was a new age neck brace or something. It was weird.
That is weird.
Look it up. I don't know. It didn't help him. He didn't do much.
He sure did. Maybe it was slowing him down or something. Because I don't even. Did he catch a ball?
He caught a ball and got lit up. And I think Niles Paul, is that his name?
Yeah, Niles Paul caught 2 or 3.
Caught more than he did.
Yeah.
So
when he caught a pass a couple weeks ago, and I'm like, Niles Paul's still in the
I
league?
don't think Vernon Davis has been the same since Singletary yelled at him on the sideline, man. He's been around, though, hasn't he? He's been making a good living.
You can't win with him, can you?
No, you can't win with that guy.
Can't do it. Won't do it. Speaking of getting lit up, how did Kirk Cousins get up after David Irving hit him?
That was a nice. You could hear it on the TV.
Goodness gracious!
He's feeling it today. I promise you
Oh
that.
my gosh! I'm sure he's looking at some of the offensive line like, what the heck is wrong with you? Come on!
You can't say anything to those poor guys. They weren't even playing football.
They're like, what
a
was
week
your name
ago.
again?
I
Like,
know.
I'm Kirk Cousins. I'm your
Exactly.
quarterback. All right, number 6, I took your other boy, Hunter Henry versus Cleveland. They're starting to figure it out with him again.
Mm-hmm.
It took all year, but they're starting to feed him the football
And it's a good matchup, I think, in this game. So yeah, I think Henry. I don't know. I hate to ever put him up there because I just don't trust him. But
you get burned and you don't trust people ever.
I just don't, man. It doesn't take long. But they did. They finally threw at him, and I did play him against Dallas because, well, it was Dallas.
Well, it was Dallas.
You know.
That was probably a good idea. Didn't he score?
He did. He scored a touchdown.
So did everybody else on the
I
team.
was trying not to be happy about it.
Number 7, taking our other boy, Delaney Walker versus Houston. To me, he's about the only guy that Mariota's ever had any success throwing to.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
That Corey Davis pick is looking worse every day.
Well, sometimes it takes a while for receivers, man.
Third year.
That's what they say.
Third year.
Third year. It's either right off the bat or it's the third year.
Right. Right.
Got a 3-year plan.
Or it's never.
Or never. It's true.
One year, I had like 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick, and I took them all on receivers. And a couple of them were first-round guys, Jonathan Baldwin and people like that just just never figured out where the football field was. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's just like, crap. Took a first-round pick on that guy. Number 8, I took Jared Cook versus the Giants. I think the Giants have given up on playing football altogether this year.
Giants, to me, there have been a couple of games this year where whatever tight end was going to play the Giants, I just picked them up.
They're just...
It's like,
I don't know.
streaming tight ends. Whoever's playing the Giants.
It is a flaming dumpster fire at that place. I mean... At all levels, it's up here.
Well,
it's the general manager. It's the coach. It's
go
the players.
from Tom Coughlin to a complete buffoon. I don't know what that guy's doing. Just look at his hair. That's all.
No, the mustache. If you say the mustache is just like if this was 1981, you are right in line with what needs to be happening.
Definitely looks like a creep.
I mean, he does. Number 9. Going back to Case Keenum, I'm taking Kyle Rudolph at Atlanta.
Play, man.
He's starting to come around a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
He played great last year with Bradford. Started slow this year, but he's starting to be a target now.
Absolutely.
Starting to be a part of that offense. Number 10, taking your boy, Ricky Seals-Jones.
I picked him up.
This guy calls me. He goes, "Hey man, do you think Ricky Seals-Jones?" And I go, "No." Before he didn't even finish his sentence, and I was just like, "I don't think so, man."
And I'm picking him up anyway.
I'm taking him. Screw you, man. I'm taking him.
I waited though. I didn't even pay $1 for him. I don't think.
Well, you can pick up somebody for a 0 bid. So why not?
Yeah.
If nobody else wants him, why would you put a bid?
Well, I was gonna wait because I didn't want to seem crazy, so I just waited to see if anybody else wanted him. But I guess nobody did. He's a stud, though, man. I remember him at A&M.
Yeah.
I'm not saying, I don't know if he was ever a big-time performer, but I saw him play, and he's athletic.
He's
definitely got the potential athletically, yeah.
Sure. Overall, tight end. You see anything? Would you move something around or forget something?
No, and, I guess in hindsight, if Dallas is ever going to do anything.
I mean, Ingram's not in there.
Witten, would have been somebody, I don't know about top 10, but there aren't 10 clear-cut tight ends at all in the league right now.
Jaye would completely disagree. He'd burn my whole list down because it didn't have Evan Ingram in there.
Well, that was true until the last couple of games. Then you throw in the fact that they're probably going to play Geno Smith. And I think the last couple of games, people have figured out that Evan Ingram is the only thing they got.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
what do you think the Jets fans are saying to their Giant fan friends this week? they've got to be loving this.
Yes.
They've got to be
Have fun
loving
with
it.
that Geno
You
Smith.
enjoy the crap out of that Geno Smith, who's the
Yep.
first black quarterback that New York has ever played. They're the last team in the league that has never played a black quarterback.
Wow.
It's 2017, man.
Wow.
These guys hadn't played a black quarterback.
That.
Yeah.
I'll be darned.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, really, man? It's 2017, man.
I'll be darned. I did not know that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Evan Ingram thing, I had him in the league and I've been starting him. But yeah, the last 2 weeks he hadn't done anything. I don't look for him to do anything this week.
Usually when you get the backup quarterbacks, though, they'll usually check it down to
That's
the tight
usually
end a little bit.
yeah, it's a safety valve. But if he's covered, that probably means more interceptions. So
Geno would never do that.
no, not Geno. I'm the guy that went ahead and drafted Geno Smith as my third quarterback. I think I was the last one to believe in him. And I kept him forever, too. Until that guy broke his jaw, and I was like, that's it. He's
Whatever
gone.
happened to that guy? UK, something like that.
Wow,
Where
I
did he
don't
go?
know. Good
He went to
point.
Buffalo when Ryan was there, and then
Did
I
he?
don't know what happened.
I don't
if he's-
know, man.
I don't know.
It's weird how people come and go. Kind of like when we were working at the distribution center. You look
like,
up, you
Hey,
welcome
where's
the guy.
Johnny?
Where's Johnny? You know what I mean? Where's AJ Hawk? All of a sudden, AJ Hawk doesn't play. Did I not remember him retiring?
Yeah, he retired because somebody's wearing his jersey. Even has the hair hanging out of it.
But
Like
do you remember it?
I mean, not
Just
really.
guys like that? I don't
Yeah.
remember, man. But yeah.
He's hanging out with Brady Quinn today because that's his brother-in-law.
Yeah, he is.
All right. The next segment that we normally do is a segment called Skin It. You remember Tombstone?
on back.
Skin that smoke wagon.
Skin that
Jerk that
smoke
pistol and
wagon.
go to work. You know.
Gotcha.
So this is your long shot.
Okay,
If you're just desperate and you got to have somebody,
I got you.
you know. I think you already gave us your Skin It,
Gabbert.
Gabbert or Josh Gordon.
No, I'm not going to. I can't do that, man. No, I can't go Gordon.
My Skin It this week is Jimmy Garoppolo over at Chicago. To me, Chicago's far from perfect defensively. And, Garoppolo, I mean, how much worse could you be, than what their offense has got going on? And he's got
Chicago
some
didn't
weapons.
seem to play hard last week, I don't think.
No, and he's got some weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Goodwin can get deep, and, Hyde can run it and keep the pressure off of him, and Selleck's a pretty decent tight end. I don't know. Why not? Skin it. Jerk that pistol and go to work, man.
Garoppolo. We'll see if it was a good deal for him, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's only what, the 33rd pick in the draft or 34th pick in the draft or whatever.
Right.
By the way, we're going to that draft. We're going to
man.
that draft. I'm
Yeah.
putting in for it.
I'll drive to Dallas.
Why not?
When is it?
Like last weekend or Thursday, Friday, Saturday of last weekend in April.
Yeah, I'll just call in.
I'm taking it
Is
off.
this on public television?
It's on. Not yet. No,
Okay.
it'll be on YouTube, but only about 13 to 14 people will watch it. So
Okay. Probably my boss.
I doubt
I was only joking about taking the day off.
All right, next one. I
Yeah.
kind of renamed this one. They had our loyal audience hadn't heard this name yet. We used to call it something different, but we're Tombstone fans like you are, and so we're going to call this one "You're a Daisy If You Do,"
All right.
which means don't start this guy. And this is not a good play. So at quarterback, I took Marcus Mariota versus Houston. What are you thinking about that?
I don't know. I own him in the league. I just don't trust him, man. I also I'd throw Alex Smith in there.
Good call.
I just don't.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Because at running back, I'm taking Kareem
I
Hunt
would
at the
be
Jets.
right there with you because I finally benched him in the league too.
In a league where you have a flex?
Well, I've bet anything. Yeah.
I know, but do you have a flex
Yes, I
position?
have a flex.
So you have a flex. So that's 3 running backs that he has, and he's not playing.
Well, I've been playing him week after week, and then the last one, all the experts said, well, he'll do it against Buffalo because wasn't it Buffalo?
Yeah.
Because since they traded Darius
Since they
or whatever.
they gave up 50 points the week before, so hey, they're gonna do fine.
Yeah. So just after a while, I'm not just gonna hang on because of potential and name. I gotta get rid of you.
Okay, works for me. Once again,
Dez.
I did this on Tuesday, so you're gonna miss some. I took Dez Bryant versus Washington. What do you think about that one, Mike?
Well, to be honest, Dez is another one of those guys I don't trust as being
An elite receiver.
No, I don't.
I don't either.
But is he?
Which is why I put him there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he scores a touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think at the beginning of the second half, Dak had 28 yards passing. That's kind of what I was talking about. You know,
I got you.
That's where I was leaning there. Just the offense hasn't looked right
It
at all.
really hadn't.
There's been a guy that they've been missing. I don't remember his name. But there's somebody that the Cowboys offense has been missing. Anyways, that's a discussion for another time.
And they ran the ball well, but they never have any explosive plays, man.
There's nobody that can do an explosive play other than
agree.
Bryce Butler, and he runs around out of bounds and getting penalties.
Yeah, I don't
and everything.
think he's figured out how to run the routes yet. So yeah, that's true.
Isn't it funny? All the trouble we've had on defense, and we probably need to draft offense.
Yeah.
It's just like, come on, man. You're a daisy if you do at tight end. How about Evan Ingram at Oakland?
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
They got to go all the way across the country. That never works out good.
Works
Coast to
better
coast.
east to west than west to east, but I hear what you're saying.
Yep.
No, I don't like him because of the defense has figured him out and because of the
He's the only guy.
quarterback situation.
He's the only guy that knows any of the quarterbacks' names.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was the only person that was there at the beginning of the year.
Right.
So, I say you're a daisy if you do. Of course, I was wrong about Bryant, but there you go. It doesn't matter. I got to take advantage of that because I started him in the LSC. All right, the next segment that we go with, you may go now. Lead that shotgun. Doc, I didn't know you were here. So just anybody that you're just done with, you can go ahead and cut and put him in free agency because it doesn't even matter if he pops up against you. You're not worried about it. And who I'm taking is any Seattle running back. I don't give a crap who it is. Whoever goes in there, you're getting hurt. If you want to ruin your career, go to Seattle and run the football because you're gonna get hurt. I mean, they can kill anybody's career over there.
Well, I guess this is just obvious. I don't have anything here, but I'd probably say just anybody that plays for Cleveland except Dookie. You know what I mean?
Dookie. That's like my
Dookie.
favorite word for crap is Dookie.
I like Dookie, but he's about it.
I tell you what, last week, on a couple of plays, they were playing Jacksonville, and they put their number one corner covering Duke Johnson. Like, okay. I mean, that dude knows how to run routes.
He's the only one there that can catch a ball, man.
That's right.
You know,
That's right.
Run a route.
All right. Moving on down to Cowboy Minute. This is something that's new. Just spewing on the Cowboys for a minute. What do you got on the Cowboys? That's our team. We love the Cowboys, and
I like the way the running game got going. Finally, it took a while, and I was really panicking on Dak and some of those throws, like that weird thing he did over
over Witten's head. Oh my
like
goodness,
kind of
that was weird.
Half pitch, half throw, and I was ready to put in Cooper Rush.
He daggone completed a pass to Jason Garrett last night.
Yeah, and I was really worried about him. And then it seemed like somehow they, I don't know, they finally found some fight. You know?
Yeah, it's like,
to me, the Cowboys seem, when I watch them, they're my team, but they just seem slower and methodical and vanilla.
mm-hmm.
It's like everybody knows what they're going to run before they know what they're going to run.
Sure.
Every time.
Sure.
And the receivers don't get open. I don't know. It's like they're moving in cement, but it seemed like last night they found some fight. I like the new cornerback play they
made
had,
a big difference, didn't it?
And the pass rush. Of course, it was a bad offensive line, but still, they seemed like they were getting after it.
Yeah. Well, and they were making it count when they got there. They weren't
They
just
did.
getting there; they were getting the ball out, and
they turned the ball over. And some of them they gave to them, but at least they took it when they gave it to them. So I was encouraged by the run game, little defense. Glad to see Dak kind of go ahead and just throw it in the end zone, man. Let Dez make a play.
and actually see Dez complete the other end of
Go
that.
ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And he drew a penalty that got him down to the one time. So really, to me, that's 2 touchdowns on that.
There's one thing I like about Terrence Williams as a receiver. The way they used to coach us is when Dak throws the ball, he comes back to the ball.
He did that against Josh Norman last night 3 times.
And I've seen him do it all year. It seems like some guys just sit there and wait for the ball to come to them. And that never works very well.
To me, that's fundamental coaching.
Yeah, totally.
It's fundamental coaching.
And sometimes if you don't get those before you get there, you just don't get it. But he seems like he's learned it since he's been there. So,
yep.
That's exciting.
Yeah, they didn't coach too much at Baylor. But it was just like, go run down the field. We're going to throw it to you, man.
And they're just out-athleted people.
Yeah.
What I'd like to see is it comes down to a playoff spot between Dallas and Seattle.
With Zeke coming back.
Zeke comes back in week 16. And then Philadelphia, and we beat
Well,
them. And then
if
Seattle,
you look at it, you got Oakland's been struggling. The Giants are still there. Okay, so, I mean, it's possible.
In week 17, Philly doesn't need it.
Philly won't need anything that week.
So I look for us to make a run, man. This is the hope.
We're homers, man. What's the problem? You got a problem with that?
Hey, I watched Roger Staubach when I was a kid. What am I going to do? You know?
And last thing that we're going to do is just toss out anything that's on your mind, anything that you want to chit chat about football wise, going on in the league, whatever.
Well, I like to talk about the new kind of the new quarterbacks, you know, the younger quarterbacks. This changing of the guard, kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Brady and Breeze and so forth, but now you got
even Rivers and Roethlisberger. They're both kind of.
Yeah, but how long? And it's not going to be long. So you wondered, you know. So, you know, you got your Russell Wilson there. You got your Carson Wentz. You know,
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun broke my heart this year in one of my leagues when he hurt his knee.
Broke my receivers in one league.
And broke my heart when whoever took him in our league in the first round, and I was going to get him that first.
Oh, right there at the top of the
second.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think it's interesting how the difference in how they play.
Yeah.
As opposed to the older quarterbacks, I think they're moving away from straight pocket passing.
Okay. What are the Giants doing? Why bench Eli Manning?
To me, that's just a slap in the face. If I were Eli, I wouldn't play for that team again. There's just no way I would. I just wouldn't do it. I don't understand. It makes no sense.
I mean, they never draft offensive line. All their receivers are hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Their running backs couldn't start for any other team. And you're going to pull the quarterback? Like the only consistent thing that you got.
Yeah. I don't know.
And then when you pull him, you don't pull him for a rookie that you can kind of test out and see what he's got. You pull him for a dude that's already failed in the same city for the other team.
And who's the other quarterback, though?
Davis Webb.
So that's the guy they drafted this year?
From Cal, yeah. Or he went to Tech and then he went to Cal.
Yeah. So he left Tech because, he didn't want to compete with other quarterbacks?
He couldn't beat out Mahomes. So.
There you go. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me, man.
Okay, let's talk about...
It makes about as much sense as pulling Tyrod Taylor.
How about that guy?
Yeah.
5 interceptions in one half.
I'm just disappointed they didn't leave him in.
Let's go for the record?
To go for the record.
Do you know what the record is?
7?
8.
8?
It's
okay.
8. And that, to me, that record's safe because you're never going to get that. But the crowd will not let you throw 8 interceptions. They're not going to do it. They don't give a crap.
Yeah.
So, what about Mahomes? What do you do? You're the GM in Kansas City.
Interesting.
What do you do at the end of the year? Because we talked about this earlier in the year when they were really hot, but now they're really not. So, do you go ahead and just?
Well, yeah, I think you do. Because what's Alex Smith in his contract up or something? Yeah, man.
Appreciate it.
Unless he wants to play for veteran minimum and back somebody up.
Yeah.
So, his
agent's going to go for that. Yeah.
I think you do, man, because I think what you're seeing, I don't know. I haven't seen the Chiefs games. I don't get to watch all the games. I'm too busy, but it seems to me they've gone back to being just what they were.
Yeah.
Just slow, and kind of what I was talking about with Dallas.
Yeah.
Slow, vanilla, don't throw it down the field. Nothing. Predictable. So, yeah, I think you go with the young gun, let him chunk it around, man.
What do you think about Trubisky?
Well, I almost drafted him, and he looked really good in the preseason. And I thought, man, I should have drafted him. But I know it's hard to tell. Doesn't he just throw it like 10 times a game or something?
Man, they have just taken the air out of the football.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess there is that big a difference. But remember when Dak did well in the preseason? They said, well, it's just preseason. And then he did it in the regular season. Quarterback's the hardest thing for me to figure out. I don't know. Maybe all of a sudden he gets it. But Chicago's quarterback situations, I don't know. I mean, yeah, they had Cutler, but he never, I don't know.
To me, they haven't had anybody since, Sid Luckman. I mean, they won with Jim McMahon.
Yeah, but he didn't win it.
They won with Jim Miller, even if you remember that.
Yeah, Jim Miller. I used to listen to him on Sirius. Yeah.
And they've had a little bit of success. They did go to the Super Bowl with Rex Grossman. I don't know how. Okay, that's why when people come with the argument, well, he hasn't been to the Super Bowl. Well, he hadn't won the Super Bowl. I'm like, man, Rex Grossman's gone to the Super Bowl. So don't give me that.
Yeah.
Trent Dilfer won the Super Bowl. You're saying he's better than Dan Marino or Dan Fouts?
Yeah.
Like, come on, man, really?
Maybe Trubisky does good. Like Goff didn't do very well.
I was going to bring him up.
With coach
Fisher?
Fisher.
Oh, gosh.
Who I always thought was a great coach, man, with the Oilers and everything. And then Tennessee, I thought he was good. And then
it's like the game passed him completely by.
Totally.
I watched that Hard Knocks on him. He's a moron now. I mean, I
wonder if Foxy's the same way, man.
I don't know.
So maybe they bring in, at least another coach, another coordinator. Maybe they take what the quarterback has and work with him instead of.
Maybe they get him a receiver, daggone it.
That always helps too. Whatever happened to that West Virginia kid, man?
He just keeps getting hurt. White.
Man, I don't get it. But yeah, they got nothing there. Yeah, receivers, you need them to throw to. So maybe
write that down.
Maybe it's too early to tell, man. I mean, he's a kid. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. The offense is terrible. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's the system.
Maybe could be a coordinator thing. I don't know.
I think it's too early to tell.
What do you make of the Denver quarterback situation?
Boy, I think, man, if have they gone to Lynch yet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He went in there. He got hurt. He went back in there. Got hurt again.
Okay, he got hurt again.
So they went.
I kind of quit.
Simeon, Osweiler, Lynch, Osweiler, Lynch, Simeon.
So Simeon's back.
He's back in there.
I have to admit, Denver's just one of those teams. I have none of their players. I don't really care about them as a team.
But GM-wise, what are you thinking?
So I've kind of.
They're obviously not good right now. So do you go into next year with Paxton Lynch as your quarterback?
Well,
you gave up something to move into the first round to draft him.
Yeah, you did, and good.
Dallas was beating.
Dallas won.
Dallas was
so
beating the path trying to get to this guy.
And that would have been so typical of Dallas for Jerry to get that guy in there. Well, I don't know. Do you try to get one of these quarterbacks coming out of college?
Are they going to be there? Because you're going to be in the middle of the draft.
Well, that's true. Or do you just get some veteran?
How about I'm glad it's not.
How about if you get Eli?
That might be something.
For a year or two.
To me, there was something that some friends of mine were saying the other day was, there are a lot of veteran free agent guys that might be available next year. Alex Smith, Eli Manning, like legitimate dudes that you could bring in and win with. So there's going to be some interesting decisions made.
I think Denver has to do that. I don't see any other choice.
So just trust that Lynch is going to be the guy if you let him develop?
Well, I don't know what you do with him. You got to have somebody to throw it. It's not Brock Osweiler, I can tell you that.
Write that down. How about this guy? This guy gets offered, $15 million by Denver, and he said, no, I'm going to play for 18 for Houston. Houston gives up a draft pick just so somebody else will take him. And so Cleveland gets him. And Cleveland says, you know what? We don't even care for paying you $18 million. We're cutting you. And he cut him, and he goes back to Denver for the league minimum. in 6 months. I'm like, it was like, okay, whatever. So 6 months ago, we were offering you $15 million a year. Now we're signing you for $1 million. So that's funny, man.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because I can see Alex Smith or Eli Manning
Popping in there.
in Denver. I say you got one Manning, go for another.
All right.
You know?
Why not? Any other quarterback situations? Or all right, let's go with this. You're a guest on the show. Who's your Super Bowl pick this year? Who's going to the Super Bowl?
Wow. Well,
It's week 13. So this is really playoff wise, as far as the fantasy playoffs go. We're 1 week away from the playoffs.
1 week away.
So we're 1 week away from the playoffs. Who's going to the Super Bowl?
So, the real Super Bowl.
The real Super Bowl.
Well, I guess I'm going to go out on a limb and say Patriots.
Moron.
You know?
They've only been to every other Super Bowl since 2001.
And it's like always, they seem to have these weaknesses, like their defense, and then they
work it
come
out.
together because they coach out. They know how to coach.
You think
there.
their coach is good?
They coach, man. They actually coach there. And then they got Brady, and they got all those weapons. I don't see Pittsburgh doing it, man. I don't trust Roethlisberger that much anymore.
Me either.
You know,
I think he's retired already.
I don't know the
Mentally.
AFC. Anybody else? I just don't think it's that strong. Do you?
No.
But
I mean,
rule
Kansas
out
City was looking great, and then they just
bottomed
lost
out.
their mind.
Jacksonville.
Oakland, I thought, should have done well, but yeah, Jacksonville's coming along. But
they got
do you trust
Bortles,
Bortles?
man. No,
I don't.
Bortles isn't going to take you to the Super Bowl.
I think that's a team right there that might draft one.
So who else is there in the AFC?
I mean,
it's easy. I got to go with New England, and then NFC, man, could be anybody. I know it looks like the Eagles, but Carolina's playing tough.
Saints are looking good.
Saints are looking good. Their defense, they got
All right, so you got
defense.
New England. Who are you going to take in the NFC?
In the NFC, well,
Can Case Keenum get him there?
I think he could, but I hate to say this as a Cowboy fan, man, but I watched those Eagles play, and I like that Wentz, and their defense is good enough. I just wouldn't bet against that kid.
Okay, so
I
Philadelphia,
go Philadelphia,
versus
New
New England rematch of one of their earlier Super Bowls, 2004. Who wins?
I don't pick against New England.
Okay, taking New England over Philadelphia in the
I'm
Super Bowl.
going out on a limb and picking New
On
England
December
to
the
win,
1st.
to
you
win
heard-
a Super Bowl.
You heard it here. You just don't ever know what you're going to hear on the program, man. New
I'm
England
telling you,
winning
man,
Super
that's
Bowls.
terrible. I know. It's a coward's way out. But logically, that's just the way I have to think. You know?
Cool, man.
But
Well,
I'm saying watch out for Carolina.
okay. I'm saying watch out for New Orleans. I like what they're doing. I like the identity that they've kind of come up with there. Dennis Allen's doing a great job with that defense for once.
Yep.
They finally hired somebody not named Ryan, and it's working out for them.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, that's going to be the show for this week, man. I want to thank my best friend in the whole world, Mike Carlisle, for coming in and filling in. Hook them, baby. As Mallory says, hook them, bevo. But appreciate you coming on the show and
Sure,
filling
man.
in for Jay.
Thanks
and
for having me in. It's been an experience. I
yeah.
was a little nervous about this whole thing.
No, really?
Yeah, I've got
I know him too well. I knew he would be.
I've got that tech problem. So
Hey, but we worked it out though. I mean, you survived it. It wasn't.
once you've had the gun pointed to your head, I guess everything past that is going to be easy. So yeah, but it's been great, man.
Well, cool, man.
For whoever's watching, thanks for putting up with my ugly face and
I told him he had a
lack of-
face for radio anyway.
totally and lack of knowledge. So appreciate it.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, cool, man. Well, set your lineups this week, and man, I hope you don't have my situation in terms of the playoffs, because I'm scraping by in 2 leagues, getting into the playoffs, and the other one I'm trying to get the first pick at this point. So.
Here's the guy trying to get the first pick and ending up in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean,
Not
in one of my
trying to.
dynasty leagues, I thought I was fixing to draft Saquon Barkley. The next thing you know, I'm in the playoffs. So I'm gonna be, picking the bottom of the first round.
Anything to see you win it, man.
That'd be hilarious.
Even if you was to beat me, I wouldn't give it to you, but I'd like to see it happen.
I tell you what, I'd sure take a championship game versus you.
That would be fun.
That'd be fun.
Absolutely.
Well, cool, man. Well, America, Deuces, man.
Peace
We
out.
appreciate it, man. Set your lineups and have a great week. Be blessed and be a blessing. Word to your mom.
Right on.